Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Gyesie, transformational coach and master energetic architect here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks transform and overcome the trauma-informed basis of limiting self-beliefs so they can take inspired action to live resonant lives right here, right now. Today we're going to talk about empaths and the power of now, how the present moment ends narcissistic abuse and transcends duality. So the reality is if I'm sure about you and you're watching this, you survived narcissistic abuse. You've been gaslit, you've been scapegoated, you've been bamboozled, you've been hoodwinked. And you've been stuck in loops of overthinking, trying to make sense of what happened, or worse, who you were in their eyes. But what if I told you that none of it ever truly existed in the present moment? See, the narcissistic abuse is a distortion of time, and the way back to your soul, your safety, and your sovereignty is through radical presence. Today, we unmask the ultimate key to healing and liberation. And that key is the now. The only moment narcissists cannot enter, the only frequency that empaths truly belong to, and the only portal out of duality, trauma, and false identity. This is the place of actually being able to be with what is. And the only place to be with what is in the now. Because all presents are in the present. All presence of transformation can only be discovered in the now moment, you see. So the question becomes, what exactly is the present moment? In Western psychology, the present is seen as a unit of conscious experience, a fleeting window in which awareness and action align. In phenomenology, the present is your lived time, sort of this irreducible first-person conscious interface with being alive. It's now. Whereas in Buddhist thought, particularly in Buddhist psychology and the Abhidharma, the present is the only time where karma operates. The past and future are mental proliferations, papancha mind. And in Vedantic philosophy, the present is where the Atman, the self, recognizes as unity with the Brahman, ultimate reality. So the present moment is the only place your soul can speak to your nervous system. It's the only place where trauma can be released and not recycled. And for empaths who are hypersensitive to time distortions, presence isn't luxury. It is all that there is. It is what is real. It is what you use to transform. This is the place of true presence. It's all in the now. So it's important to talk a little bit more about the biology of trauma. So an empath doesn't just feel deeply, because the process moves very, very quickly. You know, the brain of the empath shows elevated high attunement or hyperattunement. Those are the mirror neurons, and also an overactive default mode network, especially post-abuse, which leads to excessive rumination, self-blame, shame spirals, and so forth. Because after narcissistic abuse, the empath's default mode network, DM, is always around unresolved stories, around what did I do wrong? Why didn't they love me? Why didn't they write back to me? Why didn't they text me back? Was any of it real? And I've been there. I've experienced these kind of ruminations ad nauseum. Meanwhile, the task positive network is responsible for flow, focus, and engagement. That goes offline. So presence is what reboots your whole system. Presence is not an escape from trauma. It's the operating table where trauma is unwound. And I don't know who this quote comes from, but it's a very apt quote from what we're saying. So you realize that trauma cannot be escaped in the past or the future, but only now. And we're going to quantum theory. Your observation determines the probability of a particle's state. In other words, where your attention goes is where energy flows. And the narcissists, or various narcissists in your life, thrive on time distortions, which include future faking, rewriting the past. They thrive on energy siphoning, which is attention, reactions, confusion. They thrive on duality reinforcement. I'm good, you're bad, I'm right, you're wrong, you're crazy. But when you're present, your observation collapses this projection into an illusion, and you cease participating in their spell. You reclaim their energetic field. You can't be gaslit in the now. You can't be triangulated in the now, and you can't be controlled in the now, because presence severs those cords infinitely. And then when you come into sort of the place of duality, non-duality, in duality there's good and evil, there's the self and there's others, there's the object-subject dynamic, there's a victim and there's a perpetrator. This is where the narcissist operates, manipulating roles, shifting blame, splitting people, manufacturing illusions of power. And even empaths conditioned in child to seek harmony often get trapped trying to fix duality. But the truth is, duality is not real. Duality is a perceptual distortion, a trauma-induced hallucination. And reality is non-dual. All is energy. All is consciousness appearing as form. In Advaita Vedanta, in the Hindu cosmology, it is said that there is no abuser or abused. There's only awareness waking itself up through experience. There's only awareness waking itself up through experience. This doesn't negate the harm. It simply transmutes its meaning. And if anything I'm saying here resonates with you, you have any curiosity, just type transform in the comment section. We want to talk about the purpose of presence and the empath's purpose, because across mystical traditions, even in the Christ consciousness way of seeing things, Christ consciousness is only accessed through surrender into the present. You know, as the saying goes, take no thought for the morrow. Then in the Buddhist framework, the Buddha nature arises in mindfulness, known as sati in the Pali word, moment-to-moment watchfulness. And the Tao, or the Taoist way of seeing, it is taught that effortlessness, or wu wei, is not about doing nothing. It's about aligning to the now so fully that effort dissolves. So empaths are not merely sensitive. We are initiate class souls, trained across lifetimes to transmute density into presence. But narcissistic abuse pulls us into this false dharma of overfunctioning, time traveling, caretaking, people pleasing, and so forth, because it fractures our alignment. Whereas presence restores it, you see. So when you come even further into the esoteric frameworks of how narcissists weaponize time and energy, you look at Hermetic law, particularly the principle of rhythm and polarity. Narcissists create artificial polarity to oscillate your nervous system. And they generate temporal dissonance, and they use future faking as spells. See? But let's call it what it is. Empaths with histories of narcissistic abuse also suffer from flashbacks, rumination, and hypervigilance. But when we think about fulfillment and come into coherence, when you're present, you make decisions from the soul. You exit cycles of performative trauma. You hear what the narcissist drowned out. This is why monks often laugh without reason. This is why children radiate joy and simplicity. Why your peace offends those who live in confusion. And there's many ways to remain present, including being always aware, connecting to your heart, and if we can help with some of these, reach out directly at innermileage.com or type transform. It's important to realize that the narcissist plays in past illusions and future fantasies, whereas the empath awakens in stillness that contains both. And from the view of string theory, you are multidimensional. So at In the Manage, we work with empaths who are overcoming abuse, and you're no different. Keep shining your light, keep ascending. One love.